Hello, hello, everybody. Good morning to you all. I want to sincerely apologize for my inability to be with you today for this all important meeting. My sincere apologies. I pray that the meeting still goes very well. I know it will. And I pray that you make do with this recording. Um, I want to appreciate Ambassador Freki. Congratulations on thus far the project has gone. You have been very, very determined and focused in realizing this particular dream, and I must commend you. Let me also commend all the peer mentors. Congratulations, you're doing a great job, and I know you can do better. Now, thus far, we have gone to 10 local government areas, for our visits. I want to say congratulations. Well done, and God bless you. Now, but there is still room for us. There is still room for us to do more. There's still so much for us to do. With respect to this particular project, we need to still do some more. Now, I decided to do this so that we can understand what our responsibilities are and know how to go about achieving them. Um, Now, it is important for us to understand the reason for this particular project. Now, the reason of this particular project is hinged on the theory of disability. Now, before now, the theory of disability used to be based on welfare or charity. Now, disability was viewed as wanting, deserving charity. Persons with disabilities were viewed as persons needing charity, needing help, needing gifts. So once you see a person with disability, what comes to people's mind in those days was help, was charity. Let us give them. And disability was viewed in that direction. Disability was viewed in that regard. Now, but we moved on to what we now have as the rights-based theory of disability. Now, persons with disability are not looked at, they are not seen from the perspective of only needing charity, but they are looked at as persons deserving of rights like every other human being. Why? Because they are humans. So we now have the rights-based model of disability. Now, this particular knowledge is important. It is important that as persons with disabilities, we understand that we are not to have the mentality of, oh, we just need charity, we need help, we need gifts, we need money, we need what we come out. What we want is that we are treated with rights just like every other person. We are accorded the rights that we deserve, first as humans and then secondly as persons with disabilities. Now, if we understand this, it will help us in our work. It will help us in the achievement of the purpose and aim of this particular project. Now, it is important for us to understand that globally, in the entire world, according to World Health Organization, persons with disabilities make up a large percentage, about 15% of the entire world population. This is huge. It means about 15% of persons in the world have one disability or the other. Now, there is need for persons with disability, therefore, to be included in developmental plans, Because if they are not included in developmental plans, it means that about that percentage, about 15% of the world will be shut out, will be, excluded from development. Their rights will not be carried along, so it will be excluding a huge population of the world. So it is important for us to understand that persons with disability make up a huge and significant percentage in the world population and should be included in developmental plans. Now, what is this particular project? This particular project is called Disability Rights Initiative Project, Rural Rivers. Disability Rights Initiative Project, Rural Rivers. This particular project, Rural Rivers, Disability Rights Initiative Project, Rural Rivers, aims to take disability issues, to talk about it, but to take it to the rural areas, to the suburban areas of Rivers State. The project aims to take disability rights issues to suburban areas of Rivers State. Why is it important for disability rights information to be moved to the suburban areas or to rural areas of Rivers State? Now, this is because here in the urban areas, we have started doing lots of advocacy, passing lots of information about disability rights in the city, especially Port Harcourt and Obiakpo. I'm very sure that some of you have been involved in the previous projects, especially carried out by this Disability Rights Initiative project, anchored in collaboration with FRECI. There's been some awareness that have been created with respect to disability rights in the city. So there is need for us to move that kind of awareness to the rural areas. Remember that persons with disabilities are everywhere. They are not just in the cities alone. They are also there in the rural areas. So there's the need for us to move knowledge, to move awareness, to move disability rights information from the city even to the rural areas, so that persons with disabilities in the rural areas can also be aware and know their rights and know how to go about it. So one of the reasons why this project is targeted at rural areas is so as to create awareness in the rural areas, because a huge knowledge gap exists in the rural areas. A huge knowledge gap exists in the rural areas with respect to disability rights, even amongst persons with disabilities. So that's why this particular project was born. It was born to tackle that knowledge gap that exists in the rural areas amongst persons with disabilities and others. Now, we also understand that in the rural areas, there are several negative and wrong notions about disability. In the rural areas, there are lots of negative and wrong notions about disabilities. Going around, the local government areas, we've heard several names, derogatory names that persons with disabilities are referred to in the local languages, and this is because of the wrong notion they have about disability. So this particular project aims to confront those stereotypes, know what those things are, and try to change them. Now, it also aims to engage the local government structures and community structures, to engage them and change their orientation and perspective towards disability. Okay, maybe let me break this down. Now, you know that ordinarily persons with disabilities are like the receivers. they are at the receiving end. They are the people that receive whatever. The people, the actors, people that discriminate against them, people that, you know, um, are those who are the existing structures, perhaps created by the local government or community. So it's important that we engage those local government structures and those community structures so that their perspective and perception about disability can be changed. Because when those perspectives are changed, then persons with disability too will be accorded the rights that they deserve. It is not sufficient for persons with disabilities alone to know their rights. We also need to engage their communities to understand that persons with disability deserve these rights and should be treated with respect to their rights. They deserve rights and should be accorded those rights. That is how we can see the change we want to see in our society. So that is the essence. Now, it is important that we understand that women are very important, you know, in this particular project, because they also make up a huge percentage of the disability community. So it is important that women with disabilities are carried along. They are enlightened. Their awareness is created amongst them. They understand their rights, and then those rights are safeguarded. So that's the mission, that's the purpose of those particular projects. It's targeted at the grassroots, it's targeted at the suburban areas of Rivers State. So we chose 10 local government areas, and we have visited those 10 local government areas, excluding the city center like Port Harcourt, Obiakpo, and Eleme. So we picked 10 different local government areas representing the 3 senatorial districts of Rivers State. So we picked those 10 local government areas, we visited them, and work is ongoing. Now, we'd like to understand what your roles are as peer mentor. So let me ask, who is a disability peer mentor? This is an individual who provides support, who provides guidance, who provides mentoring to others with disabilities, who share their own experiences and knowledge to help others navigate challenges and develop skills and achieve their own goals. So a disability peer mentor is one who provides support and guidance and mentoring, you know, and mentors persons with disabilities by sharing their own experiences and knowledge, you know, to help these other persons navigate their own challenges and develop skills to achieve their own goals. So it is important that you understand that your role is crucial. You are to provide support, to provide guidance, and to provide mentorship to others by your own experiences and your own knowledge, by sharing your own experiences and your own knowledge, so that these other persons can learn and they can receive help to navigate their own challenges, you know, and develop skills and achieve their own goals. Okay, so I was saying that peer mentors serve as role models in general. They serve as role models and as advocates. They offer support and encouragement based on their lived experiences and knowledge. So as a peer mentor, you're to offer support and be a role model to the other person with disability, and offer encouragement, at least based on your own lived experiences and the knowledge you have, knowledge on disability rights. Now, there are key it is important that as a peer mentor, the reason why you're a peer mentor is because you have knowledge about disability rights. You understand your rights as a person with disability. If you don't understand your rights as a person with disability, then you're not fit to be a peer mentor, because it is that knowledge that you're going to share with the other person with disability. All that you know with respect to disability rights, you're to share it with the other person with disability. Why? Remember that you're providing guidance, you're providing support, you're providing mentorship. So you are to help pass on all that you know with respect to disability rights. So that's your responsibility as a peer mentor. Then your lived experiences, you're to share your lived experiences, how you tackled situations, especially based on the rights you know. For instance, Freki has shared her story, how when she traveled to, she was to board a flight, she knew her rights as a person with disability, that she's entitled, she has a right to use whatever means of transportation. It is the um, airline that has the responsibility of providing accommodation, making the place accessible and making it suitable for her to be able to access it. Now, she understood that and stood on her grounds and insisted, and eventually she was able to fly. So that's the same thing. You, as a person with disability, as a peer mentor, you need to understand your rights, number one, and then you're to share your knowledge with others and your experiences, your lived experiences. How has that knowledge you have, how has it helped you? How did you put it into use to help you? Share that knowledge, share that experience with others. That is your role as a peer mentor. I hope you understand that. All right. So there are some key aspects of disability. There are some key aspects that you ought to understand. Number one, you have to um, understand that you to share your experiences. Your experiences, it is your own, it's not another person's own. Okay, I just told you a story, I just told you an experience of Freki, it's not mine. But you, when you share your lived experiences, you share your own experiences. Even if you will share the experiences of another that you have heard, but you know it's something that you can easily relate with. Do you understand? So share your experiences. Then you are to provide support and guidance. Or someone says, oh, this is what I have faced. Because you understand, because you have been there before, because you have perhaps been in such a similar situation, or you have heard how someone tackled that kind of situation, you provide support, you provide guidance. That's your role. That's an aspect of um, mentorship that you ought to engage in. Number three, you have to have goals, be goal oriented and work towards it. In this particular project, one of our goals, one of your goal as a peer mentor is enlightening persons with disability, arming them with their rights. You are to tell them, you're to teach them their right. That is your goal. To tell them, educate them, tell them what disability rights are. Oh, you have rights to, of course, we all have our basic rights, but you have right to transportation. You have right to transportation. You have right to education. You're supposed to be entitled to 5% of employment in public establishments. You know, all these are your rights. So you are to know that. Parking lot, first consideration in queue, all these are the rights, and etc., etc. Not rights to not be used to beg. You know, all these are your rights as a person with disability. So you have to know them. You have to pass on this, and then you have to be. It's an opportunity for you to build community, to build like a network where people have issues, they can, have a plan. So it's not just for you to perhaps meet persons with disability once in your local government. No, you have to have their numbers. Perhaps create a WhatsApp group where you can share ideas, where you can interact, communicate, understand what they are going through and how you can help them, provide support to them, provide guidance to them. I understand that some communities, maybe network, they could have communication issues or moving up and down and all, maybe network and all. But you have to create a community at least once a month, once in 2 weeks. Know how they are doing, know what is happening, know their challenges, give advice, give support, give encouragement. That is your role as peer mentor. So your to help create awareness of disability rights. Now, another thing you need to understand is this particular project, you also ought to provide advocacy. See, if you don't talk about these disability rights, nobody will know about it. So not only should you teach it to persons with disability, but when you come in contact with others, you face situations, voice the rights out. Talk about it. Say it out. Oh, look, persons with disabilities are supposed to have it like this, so it's supposed to be like this. So if you don't do it like this, it means that people with disabilities will be excluded. So you need to be advocates. Talk about it. You need to push disability rights everywhere you are. So if you're going to church and there is a big gutter in front, people that can jump the gutter, they are jumping it and passing easily, and you cannot, talk about it. Don't just be looking for people that will help you cross. No, mention it that, look, this place is not accessible. Oh, it's not accessible. It will be better for you us to put a plank and put the plank well so that we can cross easily. That is your role as an advocate. So advocacy, talking, is very important. So you need to use that as a peer mentor. So I hope that you have understood your role as peer mentors, and you have understood the role that you had to create awareness and provide guidance, mentorship, and be a role model to others, and also engage in advocacy. This is important. All these are important. I hope as you do that, we'll move our society forward. Our society will become more aware of the rights of persons with disabilities.